All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Sunday night, October 21st. Nick is here. Nick Fox is here. He's been gone a bit, and so we'll catch up with Nick and find out how things are. And then we'll take some calls if you guys want to. I'm getting out of here at the end of regulation time again. And so we can't have 10 people show up. We can't even have one person show up late. And so if you want to talk to Nick, get in the queue now, or forever hold your your peace. And so far we don't have. So we'll catch up with Nick. We'll see what's going on, and then we'll play it by ear to see if we have any calls. What else is going on? We're assuming that the post office does its job tomorrow and everything goes right. I'm going to have an unofficial, possibly an unofficial short show to do a little bit of celebrating. And other than that, we don't have a show scheduled till Wednesday. Kathleen Moore is here. And then Friday, Salva. Saturday, Corinne De Winter is here. And then that whole last week of October is pretty bare because it's there's five let me see, there's 5 Mondays, 5 Tuesdays, 5 Wednesdays, 5 Thursdays, and so in months like that, it's time off. So, but Halloween falls within there, and so we'll probably do something Halloween night. So, okay, Nick is here. He's the young chap from the young lad from Australia. The good-looking young guy who is from Australia but almost never in Australia. And he's usually all over the world except for where he's from. He's a very intuitive and in-tune dude, but also a real-life guy who likes to have fun, and young guy doing his thing. He's very artistic and artistic. He's very artistic, especially with the jewelry that he creates. Beautiful stuff. And he will give you a reading for 6 hours if you don't play the crickets. And what else? He writes. He likes to write. He does, of course, readings. He works a lot with crystals. Makes some pretty awesome crystal grids, and and just has a good time. You know, he just has a good time. So you can catch up with him at facebook.com/NickFoxLove, or let's see if his NickFoxLove.com is up and running or not. But let's go get Nick and see how things. How you doing there, Nick?
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, stranger. How you doing?
Good. Has it been 2 months since we talked?
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever, yes.
I know. Yeah, last time my family was visiting, so... And funny coincidence, my dad is visiting tomorrow, so...
Oh, geez, good. Thank God he didn't come a day sooner. So, do you have a cold or something?
Yes, for the past 3 days I've been very sick, but it's been good fun.
Aw, poor Nick. Are you
I
outside?
love it. You picked up on it right away. My boss had no idea for 2 days. The very end is like, oh, were you sick? And I was like, yeah. Like, she didn't notice. I look like freaking death.
And are you outside in the wind?
No, sorry, that's me fanning myself because it's hot. I was making my tea, and I was like, why am I making tea? It's so bloody hot here. But I'll fan a little bit more gently. I'm a vigorous fanner, so I'll do it very softly.
Actually, as I understand it, biologically, if that's the right word, if you have a hot beverage, it helps to cool you down. Actually.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Yeah, because what it does, because your body has an internal a sort of thermostat as well. Hey. So theoretically, if you put hot liquid in, then maybe you get, like, it goes, oh, we're hot, we better cool down. Let me see if I can find proof of that on the internet. Let's see, does drinking hot tea on cool you down.
Yeah, it makes sense.
A hot drink on a hot day can cool you down. Science at the Smithsonian. So if it's the Smithsonian.
Damn. Okay. I've made the right choice. I was about to get all these ice cubes and put it in there, but no, this is great. Perfect.
A rigorous experiment revealed that on a hot, dry day, drinking a hot beverage can help your body stay cool. And so Chris sometimes knows what the hell she is talking about. Okay, a hot drink can cool you. Okay, here, but maybe I'm not entirely right. Yes, a hot drink can cool you down, but only in specific circumstances. If you drink a hot drink, it does result in a lower amount of heat stored inside of your body, provided that the additional sweat that's produced when you drink the hot drink can evaporate. How does this work? What we found is that when you ingest a hot drink, you actually have a disproportionate increase in the amount that you sweat. Yes, the hot drink is hotter than your body temperature, so you're adding heat to the body, but the amount that you increase your sweating by, if that can all evaporate, more than compensates for the added heat. So you see, you cool down through sweating, right? That's your body's natural way of cooling down. And it doesn't mean you have to have sweat dripping off your face. You know what I mean? I think people sweat without even realizing. So the increased rate of perspiration is the key. Although sweat may seem like a nuisance, the body perspires for a very good reason. When sweat evaporates from the skin, energy is absorbed into the air as part of the reaction, thereby cooling the body. A larger amount of sweat means more cooling, which more than counteracts the small amount of heat contained in a hot beverage relative to the entire body. Okay, there we go. That's the lowdown on hot tea on a hot day. There you go.
Okay, that's good to know because it's going to get really bloody hot here in Brisbane, so I'm dreading it.
Yeah.
It's my only fear moving up here. I'm going to be in the most disgusting
Look at Boo Boo bragging in the chat room. Oh, I said it in one sentence. But the thing is, if you're on that's really good if your goal is brevity. However, if you do a radio show and you can say it all in one sentence, then your show is 3 minutes long. And good night, thanks for coming. And so. So anyway, in an essay, it might be good to have brevity, but however. Anyway, Nick. So yeah, and it's getting cold here. I had snow since the middle of freaking September. It's so unfair.
Really?
Disgusting.
And that's really early, right? Isn't it usually more October, November?
Yeah, very end of October usually. If we can make it through Halloween, we're laughing. We think that we've done good. But middle of September, we had a dump of snow for a few days, and then it was cold, and then we had snow since then. Last week, I think even, and it's been bad. It's been my furnace has been on more times than not since the middle of September. That's terrible. Yeah.
Well, perfect time
winter.
Oh wait, should you be drinking cold drinks in the cold?
I don't think it goes. I don't think it goes the other way around. Although it might. Actually, it might, because if you're making your insides cold, then your body goes, "We're cold. We need to warm up." So. No,
I just like getting in blankets and getting all warm and cozy.
Yes, me too.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I've been working my heart off.
That's good.
I've been working like a slave. But it has been good. I've been enjoying it. But the past 2 days where I've been dreadfully sick, it has not been very good. And I'm in a position where it's I can't exactly call in and be I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. The
problem is that if you're still working at the bakery, that's always the problem, right? I remember when I worked at the hospital, right, and then I was also negotiating a collective agreement over there. And so I was working, for a period of that time, I was working in the food services department before I started just working full-time for the union. And I would go, trying to negotiate better sick leave, any sick leave for casual and part-time workers, because I said, number one, we're working with food here. Number two, what you have relief workers and part-time workers that don't want to miss work because they need the money. So they come to work sick. But then what happens is that they get all your full-time people sick, who then are taking sick leave because they get sick leave pay. So now you're paying the sick leave anyway, and none of it needed to happen if you just paid one person sick leave and prevented them from infecting the whole effing place, right? You see what I mean?
No,
but
that totally
nobody
makes sense. Well, I felt bad. Like, I was making, like, food and stuff, and I'm like, this is really not, like, the best thing to be doing when I'm sick. Like, of course, I was very cautious. I washed my hands, like, every 5 minutes, you know. You don't, like, luckily I wasn't coughing or anything like that, so that was, you know, not a danger. But, yeah, it's not the smartest thing.
No, and so all I say to employers is, you know, you actually you can save money in the long run. And if you're worried about sick leave abuse, well, then just, you know, you have to get on the people. If you think somebody's screwing around the sick leave plan, then do something about it. You know what I mean? Is it receipts or whatever they're called? Yeah, doctor's notes.
Doctor's notes, thank you.
And so a receipt, in the United States it's called a receipt because they got to pay, you know, it costs them more, well here, in the United States it will cost them more than a day's pay to go to the effing doctor, to get the goddamn doctor's note, to get the day's pay. So they just, they'd rather just lose the day's pay there, you know what I mean?
Go to work.
And then just get your revenge. Go and
just
go and
print one
cough
up online. I'm sure you could do that.
Go and cough all over the boss's keyboard and everything, and let them.
Oh, that's nice. I actually like that idea.
Let them type and everything, and then pick up all your germs, and then let them and then go. Oh,
you got a new plan.
Then you go, oh, you caught my cold. Such a shame that I don't have sick leave, in which case I would have been able to be at home and you wouldn't have never caught my cold. Anyway, so since you've been gone, we had legalization of marijuana on the 18th.
I heard.
So I'm waiting
crazy.
I'm waiting for a package to arrive tomorrow in the mail, and if so, then I'm going. Then if that works out, then I'm going to have a brief little show that I won't record, and celebrate for a quick moment. That
is awesome. Well, I'm proud of you. That's a great thing to do. I know Australia is probably going to do it soon. Next couple of years, I hope.
Yeah, and it's like recreational, so really, by the sounds of it, as long as I'm not like within X number of feet of children at a park or X number of feet of an entrance of a building, I think I'm allowed to walk down the street smoking a joint if I wanted to.
Man, that's crazy.
No kidding.
It's amazing. Like, you wouldn't, like, 5 years ago, like, would you think that, like, that would be possible? Like, I kind of love how these, like, big changes just happen and you're like, oh my God, like wow. Of all things, like, wow.
Marie, she's like, sounds like a good time for Trader Joe's snacks. No kidding, Marie.
Were you at Trader Joe's where you live?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
And, no, but
I
Marie,
love Trader Joe's. That was such a good store.
Yeah, one time Marie sent me this huge box of all kinds of goodies that she picked up at Trader Joe's and then mailed it to me. Oh. And I did a video. It's on my Facebook. The unboxing of the Trader Joe's gift package. And so I told Marie, I said that she should like go and make sure they know that they know the video got done, and then they should give her free stuff for all the publicity that Trader Joe's got out of that. You know what I mean? And,
that's so funny. I love it.
So yeah, Trader Joe has some good stuff. Like they had that Nutty Bits, which I made fun of to call it Naughty Bits. Because I think some people for sure in New Zealand and maybe elsewhere, the Naughty Bits are the, like maybe a guy's balls or something like that. But anyhow. And so anyway, there was so much. She sent me these cashews that were to die for, and just so much stuff. And this cookie butter that I had for the very first time, which is kind of made it out of
famous.
like you know it? You know the stuff?
Yeah.
I'd never heard.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
my roommates would buy it all the time, and they just eat it with a spoon.
Wow, I never knew about it, and I liked it so much that I figured out, I found recipes and tried recipes to make my own, you know what I mean? And it didn't turn out too bad, but certainly not as good as the real thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I made my own just by buying some ginger snap cookies and a little bit of coconut oil. I can't remember everything that I had to do with that, but a little bit of coconut oil and milk, I think, and stuff like that. And you were not supposed to refrigerate it, if I recall. But anyhow, and so anyway, there was that and chocolate and oh my god, there's so little crispy cracker thingies and crazy amounts of.
It was my favorite store. Like where I lived in LA, there was Trader Joe's and Vons and what was the other one called? I'm not gonna remember, but it was a little bit more like smaller and stuff. Anyway, I'd always go to Trader Joe's because that was just like they had the best produce, and like I would always get the bacon ends and pieces, and it's like the offcuts of bacon, and oh my god, it was so good because it was like chunky bits of bacon instead of like strips. Like it was like these big hunks of meat, and then oh my god, there'd be bits of fat in there that I'd use for like other bits of cooking. Like I'd sort of melt it down to make like bacon oil, and then like cooking that. And,
listen, I love to do this, which is although I need to get some fresh popcorn to make, but I will like to make a big batch of bacon, and then instead of getting rid of all the grease, I'll then
use it for popcorn.
Popcorn.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
I pop it in the popcorn.
That just makes me want to go see a movie.
Yeah, instead of oil, like I just use that and pop it in the popcorn and that, and
that's
I use
idea.
it. Yes, I know, right? I'm more than just a pretty face, Nick.
I love it.
So anyway, so we'll see if you're kicking around and you happen to notice a little pop-up that Chris is going to do a quick show, then you'll know that my package has arrived.
Well, I'm very excited for you. I'm also very jealous, so I hope you enjoy it.
Well, I'm kind of
thinking
a little bit earlier, like I'm feeling like almost guilty about it because all these years I've like not been smoking it, and I've been like no matter what job might come along, I'll be okay. There will be no fear of a drug test and all that, and now I'm like all about to ruin that. But you know, screw it.
Well, now that it's recreational, I don't think they can, right? I don't think they can fire you for it.
Well, I think that there's a lot of laws that have to catch up to it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so like there's going to be some practices and laws that have to get sorted out. And then my next project is get my hands on a ton of seeds and grow my own.
It's very lucrative. Oh my god, the number of people that I met in California and even in Oregon that have they're like, oh yeah, I've made like millions in a couple years doing this, and I'm like, what? Like it just becomes so lucrative.
That part will still be illegal. So, but I can grow my own and have as much of that as I want at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And so I would never ever say out loud on the air that I was ever going to grow marijuana to sell. Of course, I want to be a law.
Anyway.
I want to be a law-abiding citizen and never run into trouble again with that. So, and then down the road, maybe within a year, they're looking at streamlining and making it much easier for us to get a pardon for those people that. Because right now it would cost me like nearly $1,000 probably to get a pardon, and it would take a year to get done, and it would be a lot of jumping through hoops and everything else. And they're going to make an easy process for people like me that got caught with some drugs, some marijuana 30 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And So that'll be good too. So I won't have to, as long as I stay alive till then, I won't have to die as a criminal. Die as a criminal.
I hope you do.
A convicted criminal. And of course, right, I got called for jury duty, but I'm not allowed to do jury duty if I have a crime that I haven't received a pardon for. And so the fact of the matter is that, oh yeah, pot became legal on October 17th and jury duty was for October 18th. How insane is that, right? So I really want to be on a jury so bad, and after I'm 52 years old and I finally get a call to jury duty, and I can't do it.
I love it. I'm surprised that you want to do it. I'm the type of person to be like, no, I don't want to deal with any of that.
Oh, I love the law. I love the law, and I love trials.
Isn't that a song? Oh no,
I don't like it. I fought the law.
That's it. I fought the law. You're the opposite. It's I love the law.
Yeah, I love legal proceedings, and if I'm not the.
Did you ever watch Judge Judy? I remember seeing little outtakes from that.
She kind of ticks me off, actually. I'm not. I hate it when I see her steamrolling over somebody that doesn't deserve to get steamrolled over, and like she gets it in her mind who's, and then she won't even let them talk. You know what I mean? And so I don't like her style that much. But anyway, you can't judge it by TV court. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's very true. It's like reality TV. You can't take it too seriously.
I do like that line that's quoted to her, I think, which is to say, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. and you can't put perfume on a pig. Oh no, that was Nancy Grace. Never mind. Anyhow,
the second time you've mentioned pee in the show already, Chris. I'm impressed.
See, it's a pee day.
It's a pee day.
It's a pee day. Everybody go pay.
Oh God, I just read Marie's comment on the chat. Did you see that?
What's that? Yeah, isn't that crazy? For the people listening who can't see the chat, there's someone commented in the chat room. There was a high school girl who used her grandfather's ashes to make cookies and then gave the cookies to 9 of her classmates. I used to always say when I was in high school that when I died, I wanted all my friends to take some of my ashes and roll a big fat joint and smoke them.
That is so funny. I wish I was as cool as that. All I've told people is just bury me with a seed inside of me and then let a tree grow out of me. So I'm very cheesy.
That's cool. We'll throw a bunch of pot seeds into you.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
and then we'll call it the Nick strain, because you always have to name your pot, right? We'll have to.
I've always wanted to do that because some of the names are so good, they're so unique, and I'm like, God, it'd be fun to think of names. Yeah.
So a friend has in her will she wants to be made into fireworks and mixed with her dog. She wants to be made into and mixed with her dog's ashes. That's kind of tricky. There's people that take some of the ashes to a tattoo artist and then they mix it in with the ink.
Really?
They mix the ashes into the ink and then they get the tattoo.
That's crazy. I haven't heard that one. That's amazing.
Yeah.
God, some of the ideas people have, that's pretty impressive. I probably personally wouldn't do that, but that's a pretty cool idea to use someone's ashes for. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. The only other one the one that I know about is this artist. I think it's from Germany, and you can donate your body to him, and he fills your entire body with plastic, and then turns you into these human skeletal sculptures, and it tours around the world. But it's not you. It's usually you without skin, or it's you sliced in half, or something like that. It's quite intense.
Oh my
It's not
God.
like it's you sitting there on a chair.
That's very creepy.
It is, but it looks amazing. Like you get to see the whole internal structure of the body. Like it sounds. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen photos. It looks pretty amazing.
Creepy! Creepy!
Very fitting with Halloween month.
I always say, like, I don't care what they do. Like, for all I care, they could go and use whatever they need and then, like, send me to the pig farm to see how long it takes to decompose or whatever. And, like,
I think it's just how long the pigs eat me. How long it takes for them
and then let the
devour
pigs
me.
have the rest. And then let the pigs have the rest. Because, like, to leave my remains and have someone else be responsible for that it troubles me. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone should have to worry about that. You know, and there's no point to being buried, in my opinion. No point at all.
Yeah,
and
isn't it?
Mary Margaret's gonna get sick. Oh, you better toughen up there. Mary Margaret. Come on now.
Yeah, it's Halloween soon. Have you got any Halloween costume ideas, Chris?
No, last year I just put my hair in front of my face and then I was Cousin It.
I actually remember that.
Yeah. That was the cheapest outfit I ever had. And so I highly doubt I'm going to worry much about it.
Do you get trick-or-treaters to your house?
Well, no, I don't do that anymore either. But I have no vehicle anymore to get around, so it's not really going to be as like before. I could just run out to somewhere and go get a cheap outfit or a cheap mask or something. You know what I mean? And
you could get some aluminium foil and just like wrap your body in foil, become the Tin Man.
A Tin Man. I love how you say the word aluminum, though.
What's aluminum? I don't understand that word. It sounds made up.
Oh, you were on for Halloween with us.
I think I was. Yeah, last year.
And Marie had the video and she was handing kids out. And
oh my God! Of course, yes. That was crazy. That was so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. And the dogs were giving treats out. One of the dogs passed away. That's sad. Buzzkill, Marie. Buzzkill. Buzzkill. So anyway. So what are you? So you're working, and are you still finding time to do jewelry?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I'm excited because right now I'm making 2 engagement rings for a couple, which is really exciting. Yeah, and these are all like 18 karat gold and stuff. So it's like a new kind of level in my jewelry making. Cause like the gold itself for these 2 rings was like, I think $400 or almost $500. So using it is very nerve-wracking, but exciting.
Yeah. You should also then go and get I don't know in your country if you're able to get like for a 1-day justice, I don't know, commissioner of oaths or whatever, so that you could perform the ceremony too. How cool would it be to get that you made the rings and you also married them?
Actually, because I do remember when I went to one of my cousin's weddings, and they had someone that, married them, but it was very untraditional, and, like, the whole theme of the wedding was, like, space, like, alien universe theme or whatever, and so the lady, like, performed this whole kind of alien marriage ritual, and I remember being, like, 12 at the time, just being absolutely fascinated with this whole thing, being like, one day, I'm going to marry people as an alien, and it'll be great fun, and, like, I'm glad you reminded me of that, because that would be quite fun. An unofficial marriager? I don't know what the word is.
Well, no, like here, we can actually do, I could go down to City Hall and I could get licensed so that I could legally perform a real legal marriage. You know what I mean?
God, I gotta look this
and
up
it would
then.
be, look it up and see, what do they call that? They call it, what's the word, you guys?
I'm trying to think of what it is.
The word, I have to, What's the word when? Okay, I have to ask the offended Master Google.
I love that.
The word a bazillion times, for heaven's sake.
I know. I'm like, I cannot think of it.
So
I
in
said
Alberta,
manager, so I know I'm way off.
oh, it's like an officiant, That's right.
Justice of the peace. Is
Officiant, but here they call it a temporary marriage commissioner. Marriage officiant. Marriage officiant is one who performs a legal marriage. And then for civil ceremonies, which would be non-religious, it would be like a marriage commissioner. No legal differences between getting married by a religious officiant or a marriage commissioner. Marriage commissioner can be located through the marriage commissioner, blah, blah, blah. So you can become, so here I could become a marriage officiant, just by filling out I could do a temporary one or become a permanent one. You know what I mean?
That's
and
cool.
I could never, in good conscience, preside over people getting married. Though I disagree with marriage 100%. So I could never, in good conscience, perform a wedding ceremony.
I would just include a line that says, if you guys want to break up, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Don't hold any judgment. Nothing's forever.
For as long as you both shall love.
For as long as you both shall choose. Oh my God. I know what you mean. The sense of marriage has become, it's losing it now, but it was quite a bound contract that you cannot escape from, which I think is, we shouldn't do that with anything.
Although in most jurisdictions you don't even have to get married, but just be cohabitating for a certain period of time, and you're considered common law anyway, so you still have legal, so I say, you have your place, I have my place, we can hook up every now and then, and nobody owes nobody nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that it seems that no matter how deep the love seems at the time and everything, it just seems like more in our disposable society, it's even easy for people to throw people away like that, relationships away. You know what I mean? And I just think that people tried harder in the older days,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. The fact that it's so easy to end a marriage makes it kind of, what's the word? It's frivolous, maybe the right word, or just we don't take it as seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Right. And people, it's you give up to, now of course, the caveat here is that nobody needs to stay in any kind of an abusive situation, even if that's just an emotional abuse. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, we've grown apart, it's just too easy to, people seem to, it's no, you gotta try harder. You made a commitment to each other. If I make a commitment to somebody, I take that very seriously. And I don't mean that just in the sense of marriage or love or any kind of a commitment. You know what I mean? And people need to honor their word a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Totally.
And so, anyway, so we're 10 minutes before the first hour. I don't think we have, we might have, who's the anonymous person? Oh, that might be Queen. So we might have a caller for you. And then it looks like Dan is on too, and Dan's contract did get ratified, it looks like. So that's good. Congratulations to them. And so hopefully Dan gets a nice little bonus before Christmas.
That's always good.
And Kimber, if you want to pop on and say hi to your hero, just press 1 and then unmute. Put the vodka down. Hi, Kimber. She unmuted. Speak now. Unmute yourself. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
And hey, Nick, how are you too?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. So good to hear you.
I was about to say that. Now, did Chris say you're drinking vodka?
No, actually tequila.
Even better. I love tequila.
Ooh.
Some of my go-tos.
Yeah.
I can't handle that.
Oh, yum. It is so good. Jose Cuervo.
I love it. I love it. But I've just been drinking beer right now. I'm like a little beer-obsessed boy.
Oh.
I love it. Yeah.
Beer.
I'm going to have a red nose and a big gut soon, I swear.
No. No.
It's a sign of abundance in Australia, so I don't mind.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that, because you know that you want to stay thin and good looking so you can find your dude, you know.
All I need to do is use some charm, some of my hilarious wit, and he'll be under my spell.
And so would you go out with a guy that was all fat like that and all red faced from being a drunk?
Like, honestly, probably not. But like I said, you never know. The personality might. I've had friends in the past that will some friends, but more friends of friends that I'm like, you're not at all my type, but who you are is very attractive.
Right.
But maybe it is just that. What's the word? Subtle attraction. Like, it's not like, oh my God, like, marry me right now, please.
Yeah.
It's I just want to hang around you.
It's probably more of an energetic attraction anyhow, and that would be all good if you were blind, you know what I mean? But, but that, as long, and you better, soon when you start getting old anyway, you know what I mean? So you better get married soon before, it all starts to fall apart, and then then beggars can't be choosers, you know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. And I'm getting to that age. I'm like, I just turned 27. I need to start finding a man. I'm starting to wither away.
No.
I know. A friend of mine literally said that to me. She's like, Nick, I just turned 27. What did she say? My ovaries are starting to wither away. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even listening to this. This is nonsense.
No, yeah, you are so just a baby.
I know. I love that. I love being a baby as well. I'm never gonna grow up. My partner, he'll be wiping my bum from the day.
Oh my God.
Changing my diapers.
Too much information.
I thought this was an R-rated show.
It is.
Somebody, is that easy?
I just saw Marie's message.
Easy. When we're not recording, I don't care what y'all talk about, but, I have yet to find, some stuff I can link to spirituality, marijuana, I can link that to spirituality. I cannot link spanking and everything like that.
What?
You okay?
Jesus all the time.
Hey, listen. So somebody... hang on. Stop, you guys. So, is that really true, Marie? There's really somebody in your house that just made a hard-boiled egg and they were peeling the egg and there's feathers in it?
That's my worst nightmare.
Oh, feathers. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh my God, that was scary. I thought because I've seen that online before where someone's cracking eggs and then they crack one egg and a little chicken fetus comes popping out. But
I did find out because one time I cracked an egg and there was a little spot of blood in it and I'm all like, I don't think
And sometimes there's those little bits of black and stuff and you're like, well, what is that? But it's it's tiny, it's harmless.
That's funny. And it has something to do with the chicken or the hen getting stressed out or something like this at the time that they're laying the egg or something
really?
like that. Yeah,
That's interesting.
and so that causes a little, and it's harmless. It's no big deal. But it's kind of.
I was very close to buying chickens for my house because it's got a really nice backyard. Oh, and I'd love to have them just scratching around and like, oh my God, the eggs, and they're just so adorable.
Oh, what are you going to do when it's time to, he said it was, but you knew he was going to ask you, Crazy Canadian Chris, he calls you. Crazy Canadian Chris. There's no need for name calling. So let's do a song, guys, and then if this person who's anonymous, is that you, Queen? Can you push 1-1 if that's you? Queen, or if the person that's on the calling in, if you could push 1-1 if you want a reading. If you're on the phone and you called in and you want a reading, yes, they did. So there's one reading.
Cool.
And so we'll do a song. Oh, and who was that? Dan, you want a reading too?
Sure.
Okay. So there's the anonymous person and then Dan.
And I'll
Love
take
it. Kimberly can assist me.
Yay!
And Kimber wants one. Well, we got to get going. Then forget the song because we don't have time for a song and 3 readings. So since Kimber's on now, we'll go Kimber, and then we'll go anonymous, and then we'll go Dan. Dan, do you have to go to bed early?
He can go first if he wants.
No, I don't. It's not a big deal even if I get one.
You get to stay up late tonight, Dan?
Maybe I should go to bed early.
Okay. Well, since you're on, then just let's get the reading out of the way with Dan then, because Dan's my guy. You know what I mean? We're going to give priority. We'll give preference to Dan.
You skip the queue. Isn't there like a pass you can buy at Disneyland or whatever, and you can like skip the queue?
Skip the queue. He just skipped the queue. Skip to the queue, my darling.
How much did you pay for this? Do I get a cut?
We'll be discussing that later. Okay. Anyway, go. Do you have a specific question, Dan?
Not a specific question. How about just a general? Can we get a general, or is that?
Love it, of course. They're the most fun. They're the most interesting. So wait, I don't think I've given you a reading before, have I?
Oh, you have not.
Okay, cool.
Somebody suggested I should call in tonight.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm excited. You felt different. I've done readings for Dan's before, and oh my God, am I forgetting? But you did feel different. Okay, so I'll jump right in, and then if you do want to ask a question, like, please be my guest. So first of all, you've got this beautiful, oh my God, beautiful energy. You're extremely, like, loving person. You don't have this, like, super high, what's the word for this? Not value, but, like, you just don't see yourself in that way, but you are such a loving, kind, caring person. You know, I think sometimes you're like, oh, you know, I'm just Dan or whatever, you know, oh, I'm just, you know, you kind of have a not low self-esteem. I don't want to make it sound dramatic like that. You don't see yourself as this grand, amazing, loving heart. But you really are, and you really do, and you just share so beautifully, and like, even if it's subtle, even if it's a few words, like in this grand way you do share, and it's beautiful. So you should be proud of yourself. You don't have to be, I'm not going to force you, but you should be proud of yourself, because you have done some really incredible things in your life for others specifically. But it does feel like this really exciting time for you. Like, I think everyone is really being called to this. But it does feel like this new time for you to kind of discover yourself and really like feel what's kind of going on inside. I do feel a lot of questioning in your mind, which is beautiful and exciting and fun. Some of them, you know, are like doubtful questioning, which is like totally fine. Sometimes we pull ourselves down to like slingshot ourselves forward. But it does feel like a really exciting time of change for you. And I get this like really strong, wonderful presence. It feels more like one of your guides than like a past loved one, but they're just very proud of you and they're very inspired by you, and they're like, keep going and don't give up. And, believe, like, the motivation is really key, they say, for you right now, like really motivating yourself and giving yourself that kind of, what's the word for it, like the chin up, like lifting your chin up and being like, what I want to achieve, what I want to do, I can do it. And no matter how small it might seem to others, no matter how small it might even seem to myself, like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it because this is what I feel and this is what I love to do, whatever it is, whether it's, music or like doing taxes for other people. We like look down on some things and it's like, no, it's all kind of equal in really let's call it the eyes of God, I guess. But in just this, like, in this universe of energy, nothing is ever really wasted. Everything is always used and valued. And if it's not meant to be used, if it's not meant to be, functioning or happening or whatever, it would change. It would transform into something else. I remember learning this in like grade 6 of like junior school, in Australia. And then like my science teacher's like, this universe doesn't waste any energy. Everything is being harnessed. And I really do feel that more and more now. You're on this really great path and this really great journey. And there is this kind of, it feels like a hope, but also subtle like knowing as well that like things are really changing for you and things are really moving forward. Again, they just bring up that motivation and just going like, don't give up. Just like keep looking towards the future. Keep looking towards like, I guess you could say the light at the end of the tunnel. They do want to point out though that you're the light at the end of the tunnel. You don't really have to travel anywhere. You don't really have to achieve any great medal or goal. Like really it's just you and you kind of realizing yourself and your value as well as everyone else's value. But like I just get this beautiful feeling of like really proud of you and really like amazed of what you've done, what you've become now, and just the way that you live is very humble for sure, but also incredibly beautiful. It's like that wise old monk that like sits on the street and sends blessings to those that don't even know that they're receiving them. Like it's a very, what's the word? Like behind the scenes kind of magic. Yeah, you've got a beautiful energy. Does that all make sense? Any questions or anything?
Oh, that's great. My ego's just massive right now, so.
Excellent. That's what I like to do. Got to fan those flames, get them burning, because we like to throw water on those flames all the time. So yeah, keep it up, keep it up. You're doing beautiful, and yeah, it's really, you got a great energy. It's so cool to connect with you.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
No, my pleasure. Do you want to add anything, Kimberly?
Oh, yeah, you were just amazing. You did so well, and I agree completely with everything you say. And I've told him a lot of those things too. I think
Beautiful.
he's very so you're right on with him. He is a very kind, loving, sweet heart, just an amazing spirit, and he is very intuitive. And I too have told him, stay positive, stay focused, keep working on your amazing skills and gifts that he has, because he's really coming along so good and just doing so well. I just see so much growth in that, and spiritual growth, and just a lot of work that he's been putting into himself. And I said the same thing, stay positive and have faith and confidence in him, in yourself there, Dan, because you just, as Nick said, just so amazing. You help so many, and you're going to help so many with all different kinds of things that you do. And definitely, I feel that you're going to be working very hard on learning a lot of new things. There's so many changes, as Nick said, just so many things coming up. I'm just so excited and so happy. It's going to be great, Also, the work, it's going well. Things are going to get much easier, much better with that. And things are going to be changing out. Some people that you work with, all that is going to be much better in the next 3 months. Come next year, it's going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more stable, a much better environment, and you're going to be much happier. The money's coming in. You know, I've told you that you have some money coming, and that's going to be extremely helpful. And some things are going to get easier in your home life too. Definitely some. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say some medical issues are going to be getting better too soon. So you'll start feeling better. So just, stay positive with that too, because I know that's been kind of draining and taking a lot out of you. So that will get better. And, because it takes some time for healing, but all sudden healing. I know Nick is great at that too. He's has just amazing energy and beautiful magic. So I'm sure he'd be happy to work on you as well. But and then in fact, I was just telling you earlier today about Nick has this great jewelry and stones and things that he makes. So because I talked to Dan earlier today, and I was telling him that needs to get something from Nick. So you'll have to check out his page, check out his stuff. He has wonderful, beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So definitely look into that. I have a beautiful bracelet that he made and a couple rings. So yeah. Beautiful stuff. He puts magic and much love. So everyone listening to, you need to check out his work. He does such beautiful, beautiful things. So look into that, because I feel that you're going to be getting something very healing, very, very good from him that will help. There's like a ring, maybe. I don't want to influence you on what stone I want you to pick. And if you're not sure, let Nick pick for you. He'll create something beautiful, because he does custom work, and he also does just all this beautiful things that you can pick from. So I think that'll help work with the stones and some crystals, and look for your crystal ball, because I think that's going to be very helpful too. So, but yeah. Any questions, quick, or I don't want to take up a bunch of Nick's time. So.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Well, and
congratulations on the ratification. So did they answer how soon they think the retro will come?
No, they don't. No, it's could be a couple months actually, but everybody's kind of guessing at this point. But I'm thinking it could be sooner than that.
Union should be making that part of the settlement. You know what I mean? Really. I mean, I always have as the tentative agreement is to say, okay, and you will have retroactive pay out by certain date, right? And then it's part of the memorandum of agreement. So anyway, good luck and congratulations. Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, sometimes take them a month because depending on the pay period, how it falls. You know what I mean? And so like already the payroll for the next payday might be pretty much done. Pretty much. I don't know how they do it over there. But anyway, so good. So glad to hear that. Very glad. Very glad.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's. Is that good for you, Dan? Is that good for you, Dan?
That's good for me. Yeah, that's good for me.
All right.
Good for you.
Great
good for me. How about you,
That's
Nick?
beautiful and perfect. Kimberly's been on my payroll for a couple months now, advertising my jewelry, and things are going very well.
Always so too. You have a beautiful man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh.
Okay. All right, guys, we'll move on now. Thanks, Dan.
I'm muting myself.
Okay, darling. And
did you just unmute me?
No, it's not. You're playing games. Okay, just mute your effing self then. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Quick question in the chat room. Interesting question. What happens when you pick up that if you're reading somebody, right, and you pick up that they're a really bad person? Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had that happen?
I'm typing a response in the chat already. If Kimberly wants to go first, and
Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Actually, I have. I've had that happen a few times. It doesn't happen very often, but I have had that happen. Still able to read.
But so you just give them the reading and ignore the fact that they've murdered 3 people, or?
Well, no. No. If it's extremely bad, then no, because
Would you say, like, I see you moving soon. It seems like a pretty small accommodation, actually, than what you're used to. Oh, and look, there's bars in it, because you're a murdering son of a bitch. And,
yeah.
So anyway, I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing.
No, the thing is if it's something really bad or someone really, really bad like that, then I just won't do that then, because I also feel that when you read someone, and it works both ways, that you're connecting with that energy, you're mixing with that energy, and if it's someone, as you said, that's really evil or really bad, then no, then I don't and I won't, because it is an energy exchange. So you want to make sure that it's a good and a positive one. And if it's something that, maybe they are abusive or have have issues or things to work on, I may kind of call them out on that or help them, through that or to get through that or to figure out what or why and what is the issue and to try to help them with it. So if it's something bad like that, but if it's something, as you said, like an evil person or something like that, then no, then I just will turn away. I'll walk away. I won't, I'm not going to mix with that energy if it's, evil.
Okay.
But if it's just
all right.
bad.
Okay, good. He's still answering. Are you still answering, Nick? What are you doing? Writing a book?
I stopped typing and deleted it so I could just say it in words.
Yeah, just say it in words. Just say it in words.
I don't know, it's a really, it's a funny question. It's a layered question in the sense of, you got to think about what is a bad person really. I don't really necessarily think that there is such a thing as a bad person. People make bad choices and do bad actions and do, things that in our eyes seem as bad. But we've all got to look at this in a relative sense. So, we could look at, I don't know, a lion killing a gazelle, and the lion's bad and evil, but then the lion's actually using that meat and energy to raise its kids or whatever. Or we could look at a tree falling down in the forest and say, oh, it's a terrible bad thing because, the logger chopped it down, but all the mushrooms that grow out of it are oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Let's take advantage of this dead tree. But then again, I've never actually, to answer the specific question, I've never really connected to someone that I've been wow, this is an evil person. I've connected to spirits at first that have been whoa, you feel scary and evil. But then, I kind of take a second look and I realize, wait, they're not at all. It's just an interaction, and on the surface it may seem one way, and then under the surface is another, and then you can go deeper than that, and there's another level. We're all bad people. If we're going to say, I'm a bad person, I'm definitely a bad person. Chris is a bad person. I don't know, Gandhi was a bad person as well. We all have our own levels of evil if we're going to classify it that. And I think we actually, in a way, need these bad people. Because if we don't have bad people, how would we really know what is good? How would we really know what is the right choice or the right direction? So I don't know. I didn't really answer your question. I apologize, but that might help you kind of work it out yourself.
I think my answer for Nick was right, which is I don't think Nick sees bad, and I think Nick only sees the good in people. Whereas I don't have a hard time at all seeing the bad in people. I don't have a hard time at all seeing the bad in people. And so,
well, that's good. That's the beauty, isn't it? We do need all those balances, all that duality. We can't deny that that's life. Life is, in fact, just good and bad, right or wrong.
Right,
and,
right.
That's
well,
kind
I mean,
of beautiful.
and then, and bad, look at, in the grand scheme of things, universally speaking, then we need the bad characters around. They're for a reason. But on a human level, like that means still, like, I mean, that we can sense and detect what for us is bad, you know what I mean, equals good, because hopefully we're smart enough to stay away from that which is bad then for us. But like on a grander universal, like I look and say, even if there's penalties here among us, you know, for certain violations that people may have, the rest of it is up to the universe to deal with, in my view. And so I don't. When I was younger, it'd be like, oh, I hope you burn in hell and blah blah blah, and I'm all like, I don't really care what happens to you after you die. You know what I mean? What's going to happen to you after you die is going to be what's meant to. And I actually feel very strongly that all of us, good and bad, are doing soul contracts, and so I don't feel that there is afterlife punishment for honoring a contract that you made. You know what I mean?
Role playing a role for each other, having a good little game.
Yeah.
And like, I look at myself and I look at society even with like, you know, we all like hate bad people, but like go like read any book, watch any movie, watch any TV show. Like we love the evil doer. You know, we actually.
Well, you have to, as I say, like no, you can't. No good. Every good story has to have an antagonist. You know what I mean? And so, and our lives. Like, imagine that if you know somebody that makes a good living as a lawyer or something, that's actually accidental. But no, I wasn't thinking about Marie and Ron. But if you know, then if there was no bad people, no bad acts, no bad nothing, then that guy has to go find a different job. You know what I mean? So. Like everybody has a role to play in it and everything, but that we can detect like some kind of bad in somebody might be good for us so that, you know, for us to, like I say, stay away from. And that's what I worry about for you, Nick. You know what I mean? Because you I think you take everybody at their face value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you, like. Do you mean like?
Like it means that you would probably give a benefit of the doubt to the wrong person and then pay a price for that. You know what I mean?
Well, I've noticed that like those sort of like I've encountered those people for sure. Like, and I'm like as Kimber said, she's encountered those people as well. And like, it's funny how those people seem to like they, I don't know, I've always felt this kind of like, I don't know, protection is maybe a word I could use, but like people have come at me before and, you know, I've just approached in like, you know, the way that I do. It's like, oh no, like that's okay. And like they, you know, they attack me or whatever and I'm responding like, oh, like, you know, thank you for sharing how you think and all that kind of thing. And in a way, it's not like I'm beating them, but they just disappear. Like they seriously just like the number of people that have messaged me through Facebook and stuff and like they dump all their problems on me and then I give their advice, I give, you know, advice or whatever, and then they, you know, keep throwing the problems on me and then they say I'm not understanding their problems and I'm giving them bad advice and why isn't this happening, and they, you know, just start adding all this stuff and start blaming me, and I just say like, well, like, you know, it's life or whatever, but they eventually just disappear because I'm not feeding them what they really want. Like every bad person really wants bad back, I think. Every good person, I think, really wants good back as well. Like there is this funny game that we're all kind of playing with each other, and like you were talking about, you know, this life is a game in the sense of, you know, there's heroes and there's evildoers and stuff. And if you don't play their game, then, you know, they get bored. I promise you, they get bored and they go somewhere else. You know, it's like evil spirits. Like I remember the first time I encountered an evil spirit, I was like, oh my God, I'm so frightened. And then this voice in the back of my head was like, are you really frightened? And then I was like, oh, actually, no, I'm not. And the second that happened, the evil spirit that was in front of me turned into this, like not an angel, but it just became like light and beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, this is glorious. And it made me realize that like how you interact with them will also be how they interact with you.
Yeah,
so
well,
like what Kimberly said about, you know, if you don't feel it, like, just go away from it, you know? Like, you don't have to engage in that shit because, like, it is shit in the end. You know, it's like, they're covered in mud for a reason, you know, because they've been digging around in the messy dirt.
Yeah. All right, good. Let's go get our anonymous caller, and then Kimber gets a reading. Is that Queen?
Yes.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you doing?
Good. I couldn't be better, thank you.
Well, that's the way it should always be.
That's the way. I like it. Okay.
That's a great song. Okay. So did you want to ask a question, Queen, or would you like me to just dive right in?
I have a question about my writing, but I also want you to dive in. And I also want to say that Nick is a fabulous teacher. We were exchanging energy in terms of jewelry making. And then he turned me on to some acid. I was trying to say that. I really was. And the acid. And I had a whole bunch of it. And but the acid turned out to be, I had it on the table. I was working on my piece. And I had a couple of beautiful pieces that I had already made, copper pieces. And the acid went through the container, and it worked its way onto the pieces that I had already made. But previously, before I did the etching on it, and I was wondering where you were, and now I found you tonight, so that made me happy. And what else? I'm happy you're doing gold. And more gold for your goals. You're welcome for your beautiful creations. And so obviously I'm not going to mess around with that particular acid anymore because it was too potent for me. But what happened was I took my Dremel tool and I, have like I'm going to say a fake diamond bit. I might as well have a real diamond bit. And I just started carving into the metal. And that was giving me a very, similar effect so I could draw without having to play with the acid. So I
Beautiful.
Yes, so that was my lesson. But you are a wonderful teacher because if anyone's open to your energy, or to whatever energy they can receive, but you transmitted it to me so beautifully. So thank you, because now I'm doing another art form.
It's funny how we're led to things, isn't it? The adventure of getting to exactly where we need to be. I love it. Well, I'm sorry that happened with the acid. That's never happened to me before. It hasn't burnt through a container. But yeah, it's risky. Like on the site, like they say, like be aware that this is strong and this is like etching chemical acid that etches into metal, everybody. And yeah, it's definitely unpredictable. But I'm excited. The Dremel tool and carving, I love that you brought that up because I'm about to start doing that into crystals. And I'm starting with amber and doing amber carvings because that's a very soft, it's not really crystal actually, it's, different material, but yeah, it's a lot softer. So I'm going to start practicing. You'll see pictures soon, I'm sure.
With that said, I work with amber. It's part of my lineage, actually. And my spirit is telling me to, at your convenience, I have red amber, and I'm guided to share a piece of my sacred red amber with you. And so whenever you get around to it, I love it. Yes. Whenever you get around to it, give me a way to send it to you. And it brings a lot of money, the amber unto itself. So with you carving into it, it will, bring you even more money. So, when you get ready, I'll get to the post office eventually and you'll receive it.
Oh, I love it. Well, we'll do a trade. I'll send you something and you send me something. It'll be beautiful. Maybe I'll send you one of my tapestries.
Oh, whatever your heart feels like.
I love it. All right, beautiful. I'll add that notes and send you a message soon. That's so exciting. Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the reading. Let's get to business.
All right.
Because I feel so much wonderful stuff with you right now, especially. So I'm going to get to your writing, but I feel like what I'm going to say is going to really help with your writing. Anyway, so the first thing that like I really strongly felt for you was new eye, a new eye or new eyes. I really see this new vision coming to you, and it's growing and it's building. It's building within your heart more than anything else. It's very exciting. It's like subtle in a way, but it's the way that they put it, subtle in the sense of like if you saw like a whirlpool starting to be developed, like it's the surface of the water and you're starting to see that spiral and it's just growing more and more and more, and it really feels like that's happening within you, and there is this new kind of opening, and this is very much creative wise. I like it's going to influence your writing and even your like financial abundance and stuff as well, but like the focus right now is this creativity and emotional creativity and really tapping into that kind of inner self in like a whole new way. Like they don't want you to think that, oh, you've gone stagnant, or they don't want you to think that you haven't been good enough or anything like that. It's nothing about that. I think it's more your call to go deeper, your desire to go deeper, your wish to go more within yourself, more within this universe and what, this great spirit, this, this eternal energy is. And you're opening so many beautiful doors. Like with the writing, for example, they're like, slow down, there's no rush. If you're facing some problems or if you're not sure where to go next, whatever that is, whatever maybe resistance or whatever you might feel, or, you're looking for a new direction, whatever it is, then like, just be still. Be still within yourself for a moment and then let all that stuff come flowing through. And it will. It so will. And it already has. I'm sure you've already seen beautiful evidence of this.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's this double-sided thing of, like, take time but have fun. And I think that's really key is because when you tap into that energy, it's so light, isn't it? It's so beautiful. It's sparkly, it's glittery, it's magical, it's like, you feel like a little fairy and it's like got its wand and, it's like sending a smile and it's sending magic and it's sending energy and all that kind of thing. So remember, like, it's about this playfulness, because the more you play, and especially with your creative stuff, like the whole process of finding this Dremel and using the Dremel to carve, like that was a very playful process. And it was you just kind of almost following this childlike, oh, like, maybe I'll do this, I'm like, oh, what about this? Like the idea just pops in your head and you start doing it. And they say like, that's the magic and that's what's going to happen with your writing, or if you want to, some new business stuff as well. But it's very beautiful. Like I love it because every time I do readings to you, I get this, like I get all this advice and then, then like I tap into your like yourself and your guides and all that. And they're always like sitting around, like lounging, just like, oh, like she's got everything she needs. She's doing it. She's on the road. She's taking the steps, listening to the guidance. Like they enjoy these interactions for sure, but they're also like, she doesn't need it. She's got the magic. She feels the guidance. She feels the connection. And when she doesn't, they're actually very excited about this kind of message, but they're like, when you don't feel the guidance or when you don't feel the connection, they're like, that's a very exciting time. It's this moment of like, I guess delving deeper. What's another way of putting this? It's like you're in a 12-story building, and as you go up to each level, this new level, you haven't been there before. You got to find the light switch, because you're the first person there, so the lights aren't on. So you got to walk around a little bit in the dark and then turn on the light. And as you turn on the light, you'll understand what's on that level. Then you move up again. Then you move up again, and you got to find the light switch again. And it's this kind of process of, we all do this as well. We kind of fall into darkness, we could say like that, or struggle, or challenge, or feeling lost, or all those things for a really, really powerful reason. And it's this kind of, and like the building's all a symbol, of course, it's this internal thing. You're turning the light on within you, meaning, you go into a new experience, a new challenge, you face a new challenge, and you need to find the light within you, meaning the confidence, the, belief in self, or, the calmness, so you can get the good idea to take the next step, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, before I like ramble on forever, really beautiful like energies coming towards you, like this new year especially, but like as this year comes to a close, it's like building you up for this new year, and the way that you kind of transform will be really huge and really powerful for you. And it's very much what you've been asking for. It feels very like internal, but at the same time, they really want to bring attention to the material world and saying like the stuff you've been wanting, whether it's like a little bit more wealth, whether it's a little bit more opportunity, whether it's a little bit more fun, whatever it is, they're like, well, it's really going to start coming in because you're finding that all within yourself first, which is the most powerful way to do it. It is. It's the most natural as well way to do it. A tree doesn't go roaming around to find nutrients. You know, it brings the nutrients to itself. It sucks them in from the soil or from the sky. Anyway, I think that all made sense. Did that make sense?
It made sense, and I feel that I receive it, and I am blessed as I bless you, and I thank you, and look forward to hearing from you again soon, whenever you like.
I've got your chat open already on my Facebook. I'm going to send you a message after this.
All right. Namaste.
Awesome. Cool.
Thanks.
Hi, Kimba.
Hi. Hey, good to hear you. It's been a while. You always just have this most beautiful, amazing energy. As Nick said, it makes my heart happy. I love how you feel. You just have this glowing and this fire and this beautiful spark. It feels so nice. You have so many, as he said, spirits and guides and teachers and just so many that help you and to continue to follow this beautiful path that you're on. Very creative, very. I always get with you Egyptian influence in connections and even guides and stuff as well. You just, I see like symbols and these Egyptian images, some of which I do feel you probably already have. I feel you already have in many ways, but you're going to even more. Let some of that influence some of this beautiful artwork that you're making, the jewelry. I get the etching, but also in stones and in, I don't know if you've ever done leather, but that might be, and wood too. I see you even doing wood. And there's, I can't think of what it's called, but like doing the etching as you were saying with the chemicals, but I think there's a way of doing it with like fire. Because the fire is a very strong element, and I see you working with fire as well. So I think there's some way of doing that and burning images into and like etching with heated something or fire, because I see you doing that too. And the writing, have you been working on writing? Because are you working on a book or something? Because I see you doing a lot of writing. Maybe it's a journal or a book.
Yes, and it's flowing like the river into the sea and the sea into the heavens. It's like, taking me into places. As Nick was saying, I am just overflowing with I'm loving the writing. And I have worked with leather before. I have worked with polymer clay, which could be etched into. I have worked with regular clay, which is what I was feeling. I haven't worked with wood other than building like a porch. Well, I haven't done that, but working with wood in that, not yet anyway. Working with wood in that way. But it could happen.
Yeah, it may, because I see. I had a friend who did that too in painting as well, but then she would etch like beautiful horses and different images into wood, and Yeah, leather. I see you working with wood, leather, and stones, and doing just beautiful crafts, amazing jewelry, but even like pictures and things like that too. Some painting. You're very creative, and you have so many different talents, and you make a little of this and a little of that, and you do all these different things, and I feel like self-employment, your business, it's going to continue to grow, especially as Nick said into next year. He said his readings are great, just amazing, and he just really picks up so much with you, and I think it's wonderful that you've worked together and are helping each other. That is just beautiful. Very, very good. As he said, teaching too. You know, you guys teach each other, which is wonderful. And I just love Nick. He's so great, and I want to work with him too, and do more of that too. And I definitely feel that we're going to as well. So I think that it's very important that you continue to stay in contact with him and help each other to learn things. I'm going to be getting all of them too, because I want to work with him so very much with many things.
Well, you put it out there. You knocked on the door, and I know he heard you. So, you know, with that said, the universe is, I'm sure, will respond in a way that will be healing and nurturing for both of you. It's a pleasant surprise to have gotten a message from you, and I am very grateful. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, and you know, always such a pleasure to talk with you, and you are just an amazing, very strong, powerful warrior woman. I just get this beautiful, beautiful energy with you, and continue to work with it. I think red amber is beautiful, and you have many different stones and crystals and a lot of things that you're working with, and then fire. That's a very good element for you. So I think that your finances are going to do very, very well, as he said, especially next year. I see a lot of money coming in, and self-employment. This business you're working on is just really going to grow, and you do many different things. So it's not just focused on one thing. I feel that you're going to help many in many ways. A lot of not just the creating the things, but teaching as well. I see you doing that. In fact, even local, if there's somewhere where you can do some kind of course or class, that you'll be teaching that sometime next year. It feels like a community. You're going to have someone who you work with is going to refer you, and because I do feel you teaching as well, and it feels like a community center, or I see a lot of books around, maybe like a library, but an art center. Is there an art center close to you? Because
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
because you might want to look into there, because I see you not only teaching but showing your artwork and your jewelry and some of the things that you create. It'll be a good way to get your stuff out there. I feel come next year you're going to be really getting out there all the more. Right now you're so busy with creating so many things, and next year you're going to start getting it out there more and getting the word of mouth, because so many people are going to see your stuff and the things that you create, and they're going to tell other people and tell more people and more people, and that's going to get you a lot of business. And making custom things too. You're going to get some requests for some custom pieces and custom artwork. And definitely I do see you etching in the leather, and look into the wood, because I feel that you would be very good at that as well. and I see like pictures and beautiful, beautiful work.
You know the wood. The last time I was at the art center, well, maybe not the last time, but one of the last few times I was there, there was an artist there. It was about this time last year, who was doing wood etching, and she was and I don't remember if she did it. If she just did it with a nail, a chisel, and a thing. I don't. No, she used where I want to go. You can. It's a burn thing. You know. It's heat. And you burn into you carve into the wood while you're, with heat.
Perfect.
So, yes. And I was impressed with what she was doing. So, that touched my spirit. So I could go off in that direction too. So
yeah, look into that because I see you doing that, and I think it kind of, get a little spark in you, and the flame's going to get bigger and bigger the more you get into it and try to connect with her, because I do feel that there's going to be a mentor, a teacher, someone that's going to help you and kind of get you into that. So if you can find her or you know how to get a hold of her, she may help you to kind of get started. But I feel that it's going to be one of the many things, because you do many, many different things. And I just feel that it's going to be one that kind of sparked your interest. And once you start doing it, and I see you creating some pieces, and one is a big wooden, beautiful etching picture, and I see animals and like a beautiful scenery, a lot of nature stuff. So definitely look into that, because even if you try it and you may be really drawn to it, or it might just be another thing that you kind of do and get out of your system and kind of, check it out, because it's just been kind of hidden there since you seen her do it, and it kind of made you interested. And that's where, as you said, with heat, and maybe that's where I'm getting the heat and the fire and the etching, because I see you doing that. So that's something to check out, because you're very, very talented in all these different ways. And you're like one that just wants to learn and try all these different things, and then you kind of go with what you're drawn to at the time, and it kind of changes as to what's needed or what you're mostly interested, but you do a little of this and a little of that and a little of this, and just kind of make your business grow. And you're going to get a lot of custom work, people that refer you, and then they want these certain things made. So yeah, you're very creative, and not only in the art, but also I see you singing and dancing as well, and very spiritual and kind of around fire. I don't know if you like to dance around like a bonfire or something, and sing in kind of a spiritual way, and that is just a way of kind of a meditation and connecting to your people, your spirits, your guides, and just kind of, it's very, very good for meditation as well, because you have so much energy too. So it's something that I see you doing that too. And then, as I said, I see so much Egyptian influence. So I do feel that you're going to be doing some artwork and paintings and etchings with that have some of that too in it. You kind of bring some of that out, because you're connected way, way back. Many past lives, past influences there, because I always see this beautiful different symbols and Egyptian stuff around you. So that's something too that you kind of incorporate into some of your art. and some of the things that you do, and continue with the writing. I know you kind of can pick it up here and there, but you're so busy, so then you kind of put it down for a while, and then you go back and fill in here and there. But I do see an amazing, beautiful, not just a journal, but a book, eventually kind of a book of all these different things that you create and make and write about. And so that's something I would love to see you to continue to do, to share and share all your beautiful talent and what you do and how you do it. And you have a way of just making so many things your own. You know, people, you pick it up, you learn, and then you kind of create these things and you make it yours and you make it how you want, because, you know, there's really no set ways. We learn all these different things and then we kind of just make it how we want and kind of add little bits and pieces, and you're very, very good at that. So, yeah, I just see so much amazing things, not only spiritual growth, but financial growth and your self-employment, your business. It's really, really going to go well in next year, but into the next few years. So you just have so much. You're a very busy woman.
Okay.
Did you have
No, she doesn't have any questions.
You read my mind.
Yes, I do. I have 5, 6, 7 questions.
I know. I'm bad. I'm surprised I didn't get the crickets. Hey, where's the crickets?
Well, the way I was looking at it is it's only you were going to get a reading, but now time's run out.
That's okay. That's okay. No. I'd much rather.
Let me go. I'd much rather you have your reading because I know you love Nick. So because you blessed me so much, and I thank you. But I'd rather you get your reading now. So I'm gone.
Oh,
Queen.
Love you, Queen.
Peace out.
Yeah, much love.
Peace out.
Okay. So you guys got 10. You got 10 minutes because I have to get out of here at the end of the regular time.
No worries. I'm ready. I'm excited. Couldn't believe you've got a beautiful message today. Oh, I'm so excited. And by the way, your message of fire to Queen is so, like I was about to yell out yes. But I was like, no. Gotta do a magic. She's doing beautiful. But yeah, I totally felt that as well. So much fire. The fire was really the perfect word.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for you, your turn. So much magic. Oh my, every time I connect to you and your energy, it just grows and grows and grows even more. And it's funny because last time I saw you as this beautiful, you remember in Pocahontas and there's the big grandmother willow? That's big, beautiful tree with the willow, I think it's a willow tree. I think that's the right word. But now you've become this huge jacaranda tree or something like that. And that's an Australian tree that you should look up. Very beautiful. But each time you do become this whole new thing, and it's so incredible. You're really diving into yourself so deeply. And I think you're actually kind of similar to Dan in this way, is you do have this humility, which is so pure and beautiful and amazing. And I'm almost, what's the word? I almost feel too afraid to make you question it. But sometimes you have too much humility. And the universe is coming with this message of confidence and absolute confidence and certainty. It's a very, very powerful moment for you. And there's no rush. And they're not coming in saying, oh, you've been doing a bad job up until now. It's just the perfect timing. It's just the perfect moment. And I think, and I feel like you're already starting to see this, but you're just going to get moments like this where you're just going to start to realize, or feel is more of a better word. You're going to start to really feel yes, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing me now. I'm seeing my ability now. I'm seeing my power now. I'm seeing my intuition now. You know, like, I think in a lot of ways you still see yourself as a learner, and that's beautiful. You know, it's like, I'm always learning, and that's very true. We all are. But I feel like you've reached to such a level where, you know, you have to call yourself a master. Like, I don't call myself a master, but we always reach these moments where it's like it's when, you know, an apprentice is learning under someone. And there's always those pivotal moments when the master will give that apprentice a new responsibility. And with responsibility also comes confidence, also comes self-belief. Because if you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the self-belief, if you don't see yourself as growing or at a new level, you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to, like, handle the pressure, I guess. Or let's say you maybe work too slow, you know, making the thing, or you won't, I don't know, whatever symbol, whatever example they want to use, it's kind of irrelevant. Because I think you're really starting to get what I mean. I think you really feel it, and you're really starting to see it in yourself of like, yes, like I'm actually really doing good. I'm actually doing, like, really powerful work. And I don't have to be, because I totally get it. I don't have to be afraid of who I am anymore. I don't have to be afraid of these feelings that I get, and, like, I can really openly share them with it's like balanced certainty is the way they want me to kind of put it. It's not like being like, oh, I'm right and everyone needs to listen to what I say. Like, that's not what they're talking about. It's this very balanced place of being humble and, like, always knowing, like, hey, like, I'm the word, all I'm sharing is what I'm sharing what I've got. I'm not saying this is the answer, but sharing with this belief in them. I think that's the key thing, maybe. It's like, yes, it's belief in you, but also belief in them and their actions and like who they are and that kind of thing. Anyway, next step. I'm sorry, I'm going very quickly, but I want to fit all of this in because, it's so juicy. So the next couple, like, and it feels like the next couple years, but like in the next couple of years, like, you won't even recognize yourself. But it is this thing of, like, as time moves on, as you continue to do this and your many other things. Oh, and this just quickly reminds me, oh my God, yes, I would love to work with you and collaborate with you in any way, shape, or form. So message me whenever you want, and I'll do the same. Anyway, sorry. So as you're progressing, it's going to be incredible, and you're really going to start to look at what you do. And, like, they give me a picture of, like, a little button, and you made a button today. That was your big achievement. Someone else might look at it and be like, what's just a button? But for you, you're going to look at it and be like, but look at this button. Like, look at what it is. Like, you're going to really start to fall in love with what you do and what you create with such, like, again, they want me to use this word certainty. And I think it's balanced with confidence, and it has the balance word in there as well. But it is this very powerful, and I so feel it in the energy that's coming through. Like, I don't usually speak with such vigor, you know, with such, like, oomph, but they want to come through with that energy, and they want to come through with that. And, like, you don't have to change. Like, again, they're not telling you to change. I think they're just really starting to encourage you to look at what you're doing and go, yes, like, yes, I feel this, and, like, feel it with, like, they're so unsubtle about this, unrelenting confidence with, and I'm not saying, like, you need to act like, again, like you're like a know-it-all, but it is this thing of, like, the words that you say do have impact, and it's really also the feeling behind the words that really have the big impact. Like, I've realized this now more than anything else, that, you know, yes, everything that I'm saying to you, all these words, you know, they have meaning, they make sense, yes, but it's actually the tone, I guess, behind it. You could say it like that, the vibration behind it, that's actually doing the real effect. And when you communicate with that, power is not really the right word to use, but it's the only word I can really think of right now, but with that kind of, like, again, they want me to use certainty, with that emphasis maybe, they, like, don't want me to use that word either. It's kind of a hard thing to describe, but I think you know what I mean. And you've done, like, I know you've done these readings before, where you've done this reading and you come out of it going, like, holy shit, you don't even have words, because you feel so alive in it. It feels so alive within you, even though you're doing it for someone else. You're reading someone else's energy. It's so, like, flaming within you. and they want you to really start tapping into that and seeing that not only with the readings that you do for others, but the readings and stuff that you do for yourself. Like your intuition is like beyond what you think. Like it's so beautiful and so incredible. And every time I listen to you read, I'm like, oh my God, she's so much like, damn it, like what? Oh, she got that? Oh my God. And like, you know, I'm listening and going, she's got this amazing intuitive self that's so like there and apparent. But like, and like again, they're not saying you've been doing anything wrong. They're like, oh, they're not saying you need to improve. I think what it really is, if we're going to like put it into words, let's call it, you're just letting more of yourself out. You're kind of growing yourself even bigger. And it's not an ego thing. It's just your energy itself is just becoming more present in you. Because all of us, like we can't deny it, all of us are like humans, and we all have our own human minds and our own kind of human, you know, perceptions and, you know, we can call them limitations or whatever. But for you, and it feels like this so strongly, for you, you're just really starting to see your soul more than your human. You're really starting to interact with people as souls more than as people. And you're going to just notice it, and it's going to be so beautiful. And like the way that it's like they're giving me a picture of like a beautiful river, and you're sitting on like a donut, like a floaty donut thing, just riding down the river, you know, having the time of your life as all of this stuff just happens to you. Like again, you have to work on this. You don't have to like try really hard. Please don't try really hard. It's like that's the last, you know, thing you need to do. You're doing beautifully. Because like trying is this, it's the old news. It's the old world. We're letting stuff happen to us now. We're letting the things just grow, like a, you know, tree just grows. You know, it's not trying really hard to grow. It just does it. And when we force and when we try and when we think that we're bad and we need to work really hard at this because we're not good enough and we got to make sure that we do this because this isn't very spiritual and this isn't very responsible and all this stuff, it just really kind of distracts us from really feeling what we are in this moment. And what you are in this moment, oh my God, it's like a beautiful puffy cloud, and like behind the beautiful puffy cloud is this most glorious sunset, and like the clouds like transforming with colors. And I know I'm getting very like hippy dippy la-di-da, like, you know, silly imagery, but like I think the reason they're using this stuff is for the feeling of them, because like now more than ever I feel you feeling it, and whatever it is, could be, you know, you're feeling the button or you're feeling the whole universe. That they're like, this is amazing, and just get excited because this whole process is beautiful and flowing and amazing, and like I can't wait to speak to you again because I'm going to be going like, oh my God, now you're a mountain, you know. There's just such transformation within you. It's beautiful, and I'm so happy I know you, and I know I'm going to stop. But yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, I love you very, very much.
See how he set the egg timer and he like finished it exactly.
How did you know? I literally every like couple words I'd look down at the clock, look down at the clock, look down at the clock. Chris, you've trained me well. You have trained me well.
I'm trying my hardest with Kimber. Kimber says thank you because otherwise it'll take another 20 minutes. And so,
thank you.
Okay, so everybody, if everything goes well, I'll be on for a little short period of celebration tomorrow night without recording, and coughing up a lung, I guess, you know, and we'll see what happens with that. That's assuming everything goes well. Other than that, we're on again Wednesday with Kathleen Moore. Nick, thank you so much. Is your website still up, nickfoxlove.com? Yes, and find him on Facebook, Nick Fox Love as well.
Yeah. And Kimberly sent me a message.
Yes, and I can't. Yes, I'm going to do that.
I love you so much.
Yes, everybody, you guys love each other. Thank you. Okay.
Can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Stop!
Bye-bye. Love you.
We'll see Nick in November again, and then only 2 more times before the end of the year, if we're lucky. And so we'll see Nick November the 18th, and then again December the 16th, and so that's it for this calendar year. 2 more times, Nick, if everything goes well. So Thanks a billion. It was so nice catching up with you, and we'll see you in a month's time.
Beautiful. Love you guys. Speak to you soon.
Thanks everyone. We're out of here. Peace out.
Bye.